It's so stupid, it's positively brilliant.
The Brilliant Boys Podcast.
Talk about what happened at the Capitol, right?
Y'all did kind of, but
Because we was getting the news in real time last week.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just personally, honestly think that if there's not any real consequences and repercussions to what happened last week, America and democracy as we know it is really, really headed for a bad place.
I'm going to the Super Bowl. If they could break into the Capitol and nothing happens to them, I'm going to the Super Bowl.
Because I mean, listen, let me ask you this.
I'm watching the Super Bowl.
Serious question. If it
You're
was,
not going to watch the Super Bowl if you could? If now you break into shit and nothing happens to you?
Yes, absolutely. Let me ask you a question,
I'm going
Schulz.
Super
If
Bowl.
that was,
Don't do it at any of my shows though. Them tickets are.
if that was really Al Qaeda,
Yeah.
right, or ISIS, right?
Yep.
How fast would that country have gotten bombed if they did some shit like that?
If they have oil, immediately. if they don't have oil,
Next day,
yeah.
ain't no votes.
If they have oil, if they had no oil, then it'd be an issue.
Well, okay, let's say if they didn't have oil, guess what? Every single one of them would have got executed on the spot.
100.
There's not a country. If you do any research, any country where there's been an attempted coup and the coup has failed, these people get killed on the spot. I'm talking about lined up, blah, shot.
Yeah,
That was treason.
yeah, it was.
Those were terrorists. That is the most unpatriotic shit that you can do.
Yeah.
You can't claim to be American and do that. Not to mention, every single member of Congress was in there. And by the way, this ain't a Democrat thing. This ain't a Republican thing. This is, if you live in this country, is that really what you want?
Yeah, I'm down. I would be totally fine. Like when the lady got shot, I was cool with it.
She earned it.
Yeah, she earned it.
She earned it. Listen,
Yeah.
we can't we can't sit here and act like some things are not earned. She earned that.
Yo, and a lot of people don't understand this also, like, because it sounds crazy to say that. When the lady got shot, that was okay. The security guard just died prior.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah,
all
yeah,
communicating
yeah.
with each other, I'm sure, on walkie-talkies. And the dude is like, yo, they just yanked Frank, who was a Trump supporter, by the way. They stomped out a Trump supporter who was a security guard.
Oh, that was the cop they beat? The one Sean King posted? Wow.
I don't know if Sean King posted. He blocked me.
Well, that's
even
why-
though he says on an interview, yo, just talk to me, Schultz. It is what it is.
He
but
did?
I'm blocked. Yeah. Yeah, he got his black voice down, bro. That's one of the best black voices I've ever seen. Like, you know how like comedians can do black voices? That guy's black voice is good.
Oh my God.
Super good, bro.
I didn't know Frank was a Trump supporter. Maybe they should let people wear their MAGA attire at these fucking places.
Saved his life.
It would've saved
He
his
getting his ass
life.
beat like, I'm letting y'all in. Why you think that the doors are open? But they
Wow.
beat his ass. They killed him. So if you're one of the dudes who just found out your homeboy just got killed and stomped out outside, and then somebody's trying to come through the window,
Yeah.
and there's 3 of you,
Yeah.
and there's thousands of
Yeah.
them, I'm bucking.
It goes back
There's
to what we
no
was talking
prob-
about just now. It's like
Let's
if
go.
if you on your walkie-talkies, all of this shit's happening, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Somebody hits you and say Frank just got killed, and they doing this over here. You done heard 2 things. Yo, mad people getting killed in the Capitol right now. So your mind is already on some. We got to take these motherfuckers out.
Bro, it's we were talking on Flickr. It's Call of Duty from now on.
Call of Duty, bro.
The second somebody gets killed on your team and I have a gun, we're living today.
Bro, they came.
I'm going back home.
They came with gallows.
I don't know what that means.
Gallows, the shit a white person wouldn't know what a gallows is. A gallows is what they hang people from, right?
I thought you just hang them from some high shit.
Well, they call it a gallows, right?
Why
I
is
think
it
that's
called
what
a
it's called.
gallows?
Is that the right pronunciation? You know, I can't pronounce shit.
I don't know.
Well, maybe I don't.
Gallows?
Whatever. Yeah, it's a gallows.
They brought some shit to hang people from?
Yes, they had this shit outside and they was screaming, hang Mike Pence. Hang Mike Pence deserves to be hung. So it's like, yo, imagine if they would have ran into one of these motherfuckers. Yo, can you imagine if that...
Do y'all really think they would have done shit like that?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 2 things. One,
They attacked a black
Imagine if they'd have
girl.
saw AOC, bro.
yeah, it's fucked up.
Come
It's-
on.
No,
Imagine if they'd have saw Omar. Come on, Nancy Pelosi, because they probably didn't know all the members of Congress. So there's certain people they know. They know Chuck Schumer. They came in looking for Chuck Schumer's office.
Right.
Nancy Pelosi, the squad. Man, you know how bad that could have been, bro? And I don't give a fuck how you feel about any of those people. This is still America.
No, I'm
You
down
don't
with
want
like
that on your watch.
You gotta take care of. I thought the punishment for treason was
Death.
but apparently we looked it up yesterday. The high treason, the punishment is death. There are different like levels of treason. So
What's
for
high
example,
treason?
I guess high treason is maybe when you're out there like using acts of violence on those people or like attempting to kill whatever. I think other people that are like, hey, okay, I guess we're all running into the Capitol, but their goal was not to blow shit up. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's sons of people at marches that are at the march, but they're not blowing things up.
Man, they had the little zip ties to tie people up. You got gallows. Some people had weapons. You got military gear. I don't know what the fuck you're here to do.
Yeah.
You ain't got no business in the goddamn Capitol, storming the
No,
Capitol.
of course you don't have any business. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, are we going to execute all the people that were there, like every single one? Can we show some discrepancy between the people who like were trying to harm people's lives and the people who are protesting for something they believed in, even though we believed it is stupid?
That's not a protest, though. I mean, listen, Donald Trump said himself. He said it 6 months ago during the summer when the Black Lives Matter rally was happening. He signed that executive order, the Statues and Monuments Act, and he was like, you should get a mandatory 10-year minimum if you disrespect a statue, disrespect a monument, or do some damage to a federal building.
Yeah, put him in jail, 10 years. I'm all about that.
I'm with that.
100%.
I'm with that. But the people who killed that cop gotta go, like in a real way. Because if you don't make an example out of them, what is another country thinking right now?
But also, cop killers always get death penalty, right? I think that's a mandatory death penalty if the state has it. It's much harsher treatment. Yeah, if you do anything to a cop or any kind of law enforcement, you get, if the state has it, death penalty, and if not, it's like life or something like that.
You should.
Absolutely. You can't do that shit.
What is another country thinking right now?
Who cares? Lions don't consider.
No, but you
worry
got
about the
reason you got to
bro.
make examples is because you got to scare the next person from doing that. You got to scare the next motherfuckers here in this country. No.
Pull up.
All right.
Pull up.
Because the next people that pull up coming in there with them things. For real.
We make the things and sell it to them. We have the things.
America can never get that cocky because honestly, what happened last week.
Who are we worried about?
That could have
France?
No, but that could have
We
been
worried about France?
That could have been a 9/11
Some
level.
French guys coming in to storm the Capitol.
Listen, that could have been a 9/11 level tragedy. And I tell you why. I think about Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina. Salute to the 843. I think about how one guy went in there with a 9mm and took off 9 people.
Yep.
5 or 6 people get to that Senate floor. Everybody in the Senate is old, by the way.
Yep.
5 or 6 guys going there with them 9mm. They could have took out every single lawmaker in America. I'm just saying, like, that shit could have been very, 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 very bad. You have to make examples, yo.
I think the takeaway from this should really be the immediate action that happened. Like, obviously, all these people involved should be punished. It's despicable behavior. It's stupid. They're fucking idiots. But I think the takeaway from this should also be the immediate action that followed, right? So you saw big tech all of a sudden wipe these people off the planet, right? They took away all their accounts, etc. All these people that they profited off of for the last 4 years, Donald Trump included. Yes. All these people that they let organize.
I agree.
All these people that they let share their data and information. All these people that they made billions of dollars off of. And then the last moment, right when Donald is out of office, they come in, they're going, we'll be the heroes. We can't let hate on our platform. We can't. Motherfucker, y'all made billions of dollars. And the second you can't make any more money off of it, then you clip them?
Eat a
Fuck
dick.
y'all.
Eat a dick. And the reason I say eat a dick, man, is because like I feel the same way about them.
So corny, bro.
I feel the same way about them as I do about Betsy DeVos and all these people that are resigning. It's like, yo, you know, don't do that to Trump now. You know, you know how they treating Trump?
You rode the wave.
They treating Trump like Alonzo in Training Day. When Alonzo was the man,
everything was
and when
cool,
he was
right?
in power,
It was
he
cool,
ran
right?
shit. Soon as Hoyt flipped on him and shot him in the ass, they left him to fend for
The
himself.
hyenas and Scar.
Now let's see if the Russians finish Trump off the way the Russians finished off Lonzo in Training Day.
Yo, maybe.
I'm just saying, like, don't do that now. Like that to me, that's weak, very weak.
It's pussy, and you got to look at all their character when they do that shit.
By the way, I don't think it's an attack on freedom of speech, though.
Well, let's have that first. I want to have that conversation as well, but I do want to talk about the big tech thing, which is kind of interesting because, like, I think that the only thing that billionaires are afraid of is insurrection, right? Because as long as there's not like insurrection, there can be unrest, but as long as there's not insurrection, their money's safe. But if you actually have a government get toppled, all of a sudden all that money in those banks that they got there, that could vanish immediately. It's not like they got Scrooge McDuck or whatever the fuck, like a big old vault with money that you can swim in. That's in the bank.
Some stocks.
Boom. So they can't have insurrection. So I don't find it coincidental at all that the second there is a realistic insurrection in a country, the next day, all these people who have been pushing the insurrection get wiped off of the internet. And if you don't think a few phone calls have been made like, oh, okay, that's enough. You fucking with our money now.
Yeah.
We got to quiet this down.
I think the problem with America, especially because of social media, we don't take things as serious as they should. Everything looks like a reality show. Mm-hmm. So, when you see people say things like, oh, Donald Trump should stay on social media because he's entertaining. Bro, it's not a movie, dog. And I think last week showed us that. Like, this ain't no fucking movie. Like, It's not a game. Like, we have to start taking the rhetoric that people say and the things that people do seriously. Everything can't just be another headline. That's how I feel about the Capitol shit, to be honest. I feel like motherfuckers just moved on from that shit. Like, bro, we just watched an attempted coup in America. Some shit that we would never think we would see.
I didn't even pay attention to it, to be honest with you.
See what I'm saying?
I was watching Your Honor.
See what I'm saying?
Good show. Really good show.
But everybody's like that. No, nobody realizes the impact of things until it hits them in their backyard. Like when I was in South Carolina during 9/11, I didn't realize the impact of 9/11. I remember sleeping in my bed and my grandmother, God bless the dead, opened the door and said, "Yo, you got to see what's going on in the world." And I got up and I looked, and it didn't hit me like I'm sure it hit you, Schulz. You know what I'm saying? Because you're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your brother was in school. Like, wasn't you in school? One of y'all was in school there.
Both of us. Yeah, he was right next to it. But yeah,
it didn't hit me like that. I wasn't standing on Wall Street watching people jump. Now, when I moved to New York,
now all of a sudden,
and you drive down, I'm like, man, I can't even imagine that shit happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't imagine all these people out in the street running, debris everywhere, yada yada. That's how we are with everything.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
That shit is fucked up. Yeah. We can't be this desensitized. We can't be this detached to what's going on.
But what is that? What's the reason for that?
Social media.
Yeah,
everything looks like a reality show. Everything looks like a game. Like we don't even know if shit is real or not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you'll see some shit happening, and some shit will happen around somebody's album or somebody's movie, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's a publicity stunt."
Yeah,
or some shit. Or like last week, even the Capitol shit last week, they were like, "That's a what they call the shit like Sandy Hook. What's the shit? The conspiracy?
False flag.
False flag." I'm like, people died.
False flag means like, people die at false flags, but false flags is like a government organized event to galvanize support for something. So like a lot of times you could make the argument that this is the perfect false flag for the Democrats and Republicans. Like if I was a Democrat or Republican, once they stormed the Capitol and no senators got hurt, but the entire world watched it happen, and the sentiment was like, this is ridiculous, I am rejoicing. I'm like, yo, this is the best case scenario for what we want. All these Republicans have been sucking Trump's dick. A lot of them, well, they're all fucking pussies, but a lot of them don't want to, but they know that their voters love Trump. So they're like, I'll lose my voters if I go against him. So now I got to suck this guy's dick when in reality, I don't fuck with him.
That's a good point you just made too, because now the reason I think a lot of them are bailing is because like
they never fuck with him.
Not only that, but do they really love Trump, bro? We just lost the Oval Office and the Senate.
In
Georgia, in a historically red state. They're like, is he really the guy, yo?
Well, as long as he wasn't, listen, he got 75 million people to vote for him. So I think a lot of these Republicans were like, yo, if we say anything against this guy, we could lose our spots. We're terrified. So they were held hostage by Trump, and they were too pussy to give any pushback. And anybody who did give pushback, he went at their fucking necks, right?
So do you think that they were getting paid too? People were getting paid?
No, not necessarily paid. I guess what I'm trying to say is like sometimes things happen organically and sometimes things are staged, right? And the U.S. government has staged things to get us into war. That's a fact. The Gulf of Tonkin,
the weapons of mass destruction that weren't there.
Weapons of mass destruction. They were in Iraq. I mean, to get us into the Spanish-American War, like they said that there was this a bomb where we were attacked. When in reality, a bomb went off, that was probably us that, set it off. I mean, people even, whatever, we don't have to get into conspiracy shit. That's not conspiracy. That is fact, right? And the reason is because in order for you to take a huge action, like, say, wiping off all these people's Instagram accounts and Twitter accounts, you need support of the country. If the country is not backing you, you can't do something like that. But most of us were like, all right, this is getting too far. Shut down this QAnon shit. Shut down all that other shit.
It's too late, though. You're literally 4 years too late. Like people say, it's never too late to do the right thing. Yeah, it is.
It is too late.
Yeah, it is.
But what it did is it made it difficult for them to communicate. In order for them to do these like widespread acts of protest, they need easy communication platforms. And it's so easy to do it on Twitter, on Facebook, on this other stuff. Now they're forced to use these other apps. Like one is called, I think, Telegraph or something like that.
Never heard of it.
Telegraph, right? So like there's a couple of them and they're like forced to use those apps to talk to each other, and they're a little bit more clunky. They're not used to this kind of weight. And a lot of these people are too stupid to even go find something like Telegraph. So they can't organize as effectively, which is safer. You don't want hundreds of thousands of people being able to organize and being galvanized behind one thing.
Is Telegraph one of those apps that people think they're communicating in secret? Because people send me that type of shit all the time. They're like, yo, you need to get on this. I can't even remember the name of these shit now. And I'm like, do y'all really think they're not monitoring this shit? The easiest way to monitor somebody is to build the app to tell people this is an app that nobody can see you on. So now all you stupid motherfuckers get on it and think y'all having these secret conversations. We watching this shit the whole time. I don't believe, though, I don't believe this is a threat to freedom of speech. And the only reason I don't believe this is a threat to freedom of speech is because I told y'all this shit a million times. Speech ain't free, bro. There's a cost to everything that comes out of your mouth, especially when you're saying it on a platform that ain't yours. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
These are privately owned companies. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If they don't like some shit that we're doing or saying, bloop. They got rules and guidelines, terms and conditions. I don't know if y'all have ever read them, but they get violated every day on social media. B. You're lucky that they haven't been taking us down more. Shit, they been fucking with me.